Hello, everybody. Welcome to VR Master League, and we are here to get started on the Ignition Cup. So get ready and set. This is our second big cup tournament here in VRML, of many more to come. So on the cast today, I'm Palador, being joined by Punda, as well as RetroCat Rydell and Wonder T on the cams. Punda, how's it going?
I'm doing good. I'm ready for the second tournament for VRML, and for OCE, they're the first region to, I guess, take the tournament. But yeah, I don't know, not much to say yet. I'm still warming up.
Yeah. Now, Retro, how about you? How are you feeling today?
I'm doing pretty good. Nice day. I've been playing a little bit earlier with the APAC players, seeing them like train out there, and it's just been beautiful overall.
Yeah, well, this region has always been one to prioritize beautiful gameplay, teamwork, and we'll get started right here real quick. First score.
Yeah, as we're...
Play recommences.
If I'm not mistaken, anyway. Over here on Arena 3. And so we're getting started there. Ball almost going in. As we got Mexican Wapa with the ball in there initially. We over into the midfield. Steph now carrying the ball. Trying to find a pass to Asian. Asian, a little ceiling car, a nice pass attempted there to Chief Goat, but will not secure that one. And Os Firestorm now with the ball.
Yeah, so he's going to be running it across the right side, maybe looking for a passing lane down to the left. Doesn't connect at all. It's going to be sort of in the air for Jados here. He's going to take it up, maybe with another pass up to the side. Is it connecting? It is. It's going to connect to Steph. Steph maybe looking for the pass back. Nice little 1-2. Can we get another pass? Almost goes in. Asian with recovery, maybe, but no, it's denied by Os Firestorm.
All right, and taken back now, sent towards that goalie, Mexican Wapa there, but having it taken back by Asian. Asian now on the dive on a bunch of defenders and could not get it through. Will be backed out there to Jados, trying to find a pass right on the dot to Asian up high, being assaulted there by Os Firestorm and co. A lot of defense now getting in the way, able to take the ball back into the midfield.
It's a bit of an intense back and forth here as it's going to be cleared, but not really connecting to his teammates. Me, Os Firestorm once again with possession, maybe going up the wall. No, opts to go just to stay low, kind of, I guess, forced to pass it off to Jados. And now Jados with a cross pass to Asian, which doesn't connect, but it's going to be, I think, Chief here. Go with a bit of a clear, which just ends up in the other team's hands.
All right, now Steph from up high will send it towards that goal, but no one there to receive. So Mexican Wapa trying to collect it, but Asian with a nice tackle to disable that. As it gets sent back here to Asian. Asian now carving around open goal and will score. Nicely done. That's actually the second one, I believe, by the way, Wonder.
That was just a brilliant score right there. And just great passing play right into that score going into this next round with just 2 points on the board for Celestial Ops.
Yeah, so now back into the mid here with Nug VR with the ball. Just sends it right to Asian, though. So looking to maybe capture their third point here and hold scoreless for the opposite side as Jay will dot it with a score right on that top pocket.
Talk about just like another epic score there, just swooping in and just booming that straight into the goal right there. This team really knows how they like do their passing plays and chemistry overall.
Absolutely.
100% is. So I'll go for this one. And it's going to be a big shot here. It's going to just ding off the side and maybe another recovery. No, it's going to be 2 attempts. They're both missing, and that ball's getting cleared down into the low area. Steph may be trying to contest it. Os Firestorm and Cruzy both, I guess, double committing for this ball here. It gets cleared out back to, I think, Chief Goat there. It's going to be Firestorm. And no, it's no one. It's just clears and throws around as it's going to be, once again, no one who's going to be receiving it. It's a bit of just flying around Asian Wang now in the air. Absolutely denied by Asian Wang as Os Firestorm coming in for the recovery. A little pop up into the air. Can he get to it first? No, it's me, Steph.
Well, about a minute left here. 3 points uncontested on the board, favoring Celestial. Asian, though, nice steal coming in from Nug VR on him. So Nug VR now dribbling it up the floor with some speed, has an angle, and trying to get something going here for their first score. A little tap to the top, and then we'll drop the score right below the defender.
Just going from the top right there. He's just rushing in with these solo plays and just boom that onto the board, getting their first point onto the board, Palador.
Yeah, no time better than the present, and that is indeed a gift to get on the scoring board here towards the latter parts of this first round. Back into the midfield. some defense now, seeing if they can just squeeze those offensive players a little more, and they do some good defense here as Firestorm comes out with a ball into the midfield.
Yeah, as he's being chased by the defenders, he's going to take it all the way. He sort of just shoots the heights. Is this a little stack we have here? A little regrab stack maybe going down, and they're going to pass off to the left side to Asian Wang. Asian Wang now with a one-on-one with the goalie, sinks it into the top left.
And talk about a coordinated goal, Punda. Just that passing play from that regrab straight to his teammate on the bridge into the goal. Chef's kiss.
Indeed, as it's Asian. An immediate second goal. Damn.
They are going really, really speedy.
Well, that will be the conclusion of that opening round, and nicely done to get their first win. They're 5-1. Some impressive score lines for the Control-Alt-Delete players. Unable to get anything going for Celestial Ops, though, so far, Retro. Just the 1 point, but...
Yeah, from what I'm seeing, I think Celestial Ops does really need to step up on that defensive play there. I think they need to stay back a little bit, but just the offensive play from Control-Alt-Delete is just incredible with just their chemistry in their passes. If you saw the regrab there, that was just a brilliant play. They just have that in the bag. I think, but Celestial Ops, I think they can do good next round.
Well, next round, we won't have to wait too long for it to start here. A quick shout out to the YouTube chat, though. See people in there hyping up and watching. Dreamer, Felix, Lutatius, and Jucifer. Welcome to the stream, guys. Thanks for joining us here as we get started on this second round. And possession going to the Celestial side of the floor for a moment, although very well contested by JDOS, Punda.
Yeah, I don't even have the the YouTube stream open, so I can't see who's in chat. But we are going to have a nice clear off to the left here, and it's going to be, I guess, acquired by Chief Gold. He's going to get slapped off by Oz Firestorm, and it's going to be sent into the air by, I guess, Nugs VR. Maybe taking it slow, looking for the cross pass. Intercepted by Asian Wang. That's a big interception. Can he keep it? He doesn't, though. He's going to lose it, but it's going to be JDOS first to the ball. Now, taking his time again. You see that little pause there. Goes to the left pass to, I think, who was that? Steph. Steph just shoots it high, and it's going to be cleared out back in the midfield.
Yeah, credit Cruzy there, also able to tackle and I think just cause a little bit of disruption on the offensive drive, disabling them from finding that goal. As Asia now will overtake with the ball, trying to evade a few defenders, and does so with some success, picking up a lot of speed, and the greed. There's a goal.
Just right into there, just rushing and just going boom into the goal. Gotta love that. That goal was pretty open, but let's see how they can take this back, Celestial Ops.
And open courtesy of that great speed, Punda. There were 3 defenders there trying to chase him down, but even with the ball being dribbled by Asian, he was still able to beat everyone to the goal.
Asian Wang's definitely proven to be quite a mechanical player, as we've seen him participate in the, I don't know if it was in the previous Pioneers Cup, but we had a recent OCE tournament, which he did quite well. And as we're going to see another little run up here, can the pass connect? It doesn't. It's going to be another clear from Oz Firestorm, and no one's going to be there to immediately receive that. The question is who's going to get there first. JDOS, by the looks of it. Maybe tackled. No, dodges the attacker, passes it out to the midfield, and it's going to be Steph. No, it's not going to be Steph. It's going to be Asian Wang with the ball again, and a nice ceiling carve.
Really nice defense here being played in the mid lanes. A lot of tackles as well going on to just not give a lot of time for Steph and his team here to do much with the ball. There's another turnover cause. A Firestorm swooping in, being assaulted, but manages to, get an angle. Couldn't quite convert the score. Another attempt there, gets slapped out right into the midfield. Cruzy there to overtake. Potentially, it will be actually Firestorm now trying to bob and weave, but instead gets stuck with a tackle. There's a little bit of chaos here as Firestorm will wiggle around that ceiling with a car, but loses the ball out briefly, and finally possession going back now to JDOS and co.
Some amazing defense being showcased there. It's going to be another big tackle from Asian Wang. Is Cruzy can't really manage to intercept that ball, and it's going to be, I think, Asian Wang here with the room. It's just too much room, and just has the time to walk it in.
Talk about wicked goals right there. Just zooming in, just always zooming into that goal. Control-Alt-Delete is just dominating the offensive field right here with 2-0 on the board. The time is running out, though, Palador.
Yeah, winding down again. Of course, these 5-minute rounds as a turnover will occur. We'll be back, though, lost in the middle as Nug sends a slapper over to a pair of defenders in the back line. So JDOS will receive the ball back here for control. And trying to find that control indeed has a plethora of defense. Cruising catching up though, good tackle to dislodge the ball and attempting to collect it now and deliver it to teammates on a nice reset. But the tackle there disabling him briefly, and now back to us Firestorm.
Yeah, as we got some carving here. That's a big launch into the air. Does he have the room? No, it's going to be the defenders coming, swooping in. Damn, JDOS sort of manages to catch that like ball as it's falling down. And now being a bit contested, opts to go low. See where he's going to go, around the left and around the... No, go straight through, pass it off to the side. Another pass here, beautiful passing play. And that is control of defeat with 3 goals.
Beautiful, beautiful indeed. Just mwah. Just back the fourth and just that backhand shot into the goal. That was just epic.
Yeah, showing that beautiful control, Punda, with, again, just the easy looking shots, which we know moving the way that they do and shooting with that kind of accuracy, not necessarily as easy as they make it look, but they're doing it well and to the tune of a high-paced offense in both these rounds.
100%. It's going to be a bit of a clear and it's going to be straight intercepted. But I think JDOS here is JDOS now with the room and the passing option to the left goes to the pass, doesn't connect it. Asian Wang is just a bit too short for that, or too low in the air. As JDOS again, once again, just the midfield menace. Just every time that ball gets cleared to the midfield, he's just there to collect it. And it's going to be a big pass up to Asian Wang. Can Asian Wang recover it? Sort of smacks it down. And it's going to be Cruzy with a clear.
Absolutely right, though. Asian is really bothersome with his positioning. Manages to find the ball some way, somehow, often, as he does so right there. But the round does come to a close. That'll be 3 uncontested points going, following their 5 points in the first round. Incredibly high-powered offense here, Retro, for control out defeat.
Say that positioning that game was incredible. Just having somebody at that midfield point to always catch that ball, that's just a really great strategy, because whenever they would just throw it to the midfield, they would catch every time. But for the defensive side, I really think Celestial Ops did step up their defensive play a little bit, but I really think if they really want to have this next round, I really think they have to really push on their offensive and defensive all in.
Interesting. I think the players are warming up. I think we're warming up too on the casting booth, as we're going to be here going into our 3rd round. It's match point for Celestial Ops. So they need to get a win here if they want to stay alive, because otherwise control or defeat will be taking their first victory for the day.
Yeah, right. These best of 5s here. Again, 5-minute rounds. So really, any team in these types of rounds, running clock, one good offensive run can basically secure a win. So if they can get off to a fast start here for Celestial, they'll still be in this one. Definitely want to see some scores there soon, however.
Understand. That's a big pass to the Chief as he's just coming through the bottom, but it's going to be, I guess, denied and cleared all the way back to their side. But it is going to be in the possession of Distorted. As Distorted's going to come around, sort of just swing it and take it until it's denied by Oz Firestorm in the lower area. As Oz Firestorm's going to come up here with a nice big up high jump. A duck maybe, but no, can't connect it. Is Distorted once again. Takes it away.
And for all the work that Asian has been doing on the defensive end, getting those loose balls as they fly around to the midfield, Oz Firestorm has been doing largely the same, getting the handles on those quite a bit. Although they will lose control for a moment as Distorted tries to take the ball back. And a danger zone near that goal. Managed to weave right around some defenders. And there's that speed. There's the stack. Boosting right into a goal against a very helpless goalkeeper there. Just the charging defenders like rhinos.
Just zooming right past them, juking them out, and rushing right to the goal. Kind of like a victory lap if you think about it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
for sure. That was a very interesting, I guess, players. Yeah, that poor goalie just had to just watch as 3 attackers just run towards him. As we JDOS here with big jukes around the side, can't really get it past. I think that is I don't know who that was. Nuggy VR is now. It's going to be a bit of contention, a bit of team stealing, a bit of something's happening in the corner there. We're not sure what, but Oz Firestorm's going to be the one walking away with the ball. It's going to get denied by JDOS, and now it's going to be Distorted.
A little bit of tackling, a little bit of tickling either way. That ball is exchanging possessions quite a bit. Right now stuck in that tunnel there. Cruzy having it stolen. However, Oz trying to cause some trouble on JDOS that is, as Another tackle from Firestorm and Cruzy are able to dislodge that ball right into the possession here of Celestial. So down the floor they'll go, right above one defender and right through two. No, it's Chief Goat, the Chief in the goal, able to deny that first score for Celestial.
Yeah, so here we're going to have Oz Firestorm going up high, maybe with a very quick shot. Just misses the corner of that goal where he's aiming for. As Distorted now, going to take it maybe up high. I think he's got his teammate on his back. Maybe not. No passing option. Has to take the shot. And the goalie, Mexican, can't grab it.
Just taking that high play right there, just seizing that opportunity and just going high and slamming that right into the goal. That was just awesome.
Now that it was right under the armpits of the goalie there, and that stinks. But it will be here from up top, Cruzy. Cruzy through a couple defenders trying to deliver a pass, I believe, to Nugs. But it will be taken over here by Chief Goat from the ceiling over to JDOS, a gentle pass, and JDOS is able to gather that ball. A little juke trying to break some ankles, but instead gets broken up by a couple more defenders in the way. A stacking play here, trying to retrieve the ball for Celestial. It'll be Cruzy with the ball, sending it over. But there's Asian Wang already reading that ball from that pass, rather, well before it happened, able to get in the way and just cause some trouble here for the Celestial offense once again.
His Cruzy was trying to, I guess, take that towards the two defenders who are waiting patiently in low areas. Now it's going to be Oz Firestorm, sort of with a bit of a tackle, manages to somehow keep it alive. Is another cluster of just, you know, steals and tackling occurs in the midfield, as it's going to be, I think, or almost VR walking away with that, but can't manage to, you know, escape. I think it was Oz Firestorm is Distorted now carving through the floor. Yeah, just kind of gives it right back to Oz Firestorm. He gives it right back to Distorted. Now we have a passing play out down to the middle of the goal. JDOS, can he sink it in? No.
Some great moves from JDOS, but got past two defenders, but then by the time Firestorm rolled around, could not break through that storm, as they will try and gather this ball once again. But there's Asian with a very bothersome defense, and the Mexican losing the ball to the aforementioned, as Asian now will take it over from the midfield, going top to bottom. Firestorm is there to bother. A good tackle from Nug, however, and right back at him was Asian with a tackle, a redirect. So the active hands from these players, offensively and defensively, carving around here. It's Crazy losing the handles on the ball, though, had a potential drive at the goal, as it will be back to JDOS, as Control now heads on their offense.
And with 7 seconds remaining, clock's ticking here. Celestial Ops really, they can't really get a goal here, so it's going to be out of mathematical time, as you love to say, Palador. And it'll be Control of defeat, winning the series.
Woo! A W from Control Alt Delete here. Gotta say, I think at that end game, I think they really put up a great fight. Celestial Ops, they did hold them at bay, and they did not let them get any of that scores. But for Control Alt Delete, they had that chemistry, they had that passing play, they knew what they were doing. I think in this tournament, I think they can get far. I really think they can get far. Same as Celestial Ops. I think they just need to step up on some things, maybe work on some things, practice a little. But overall, that was a brilliant game for the first round of APAC Ignition Cup.
Yeah, that was the
great start.
You go.
Just saying, great start for Control Alt Defeat. They will not be defeated in this time around. To the chat there, I just woke up. Give me a break, okay? Here, better. Also, what I mean by tickling, well, you know, there's tackling, which is, you know, heavy, forceful shove, and then there's tickling, which is just tick, 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 tick. Yeah, that's what I meant by tickling. Little phrase from Echo too, but even more so here in Orion Drift. But yeah, Punda, your thoughts on the match, and you know, getting started on what I think 5 rounds today here of Swiss in this Ignition Cup.
Yes, I was about to say Celestial Ops, they might have lost their first game, but they're not out yet. As you just said, it is a Swiss stage, so I think we're having 5 different games today, or 5 different rounds. So they'll have plenty of chances to recover, but Control Alt Defeat, you know, they're the winners here. They're feeling confident now. That's a good first game, especially because it's a whole sweep. But that, you know, just being a sweep doesn't tell the whole story. Celestial Ops definitely, you know, held the defense better, I feel like, during the especially later on the stage. As you can see the goal from first game, which, you know, Control Alt Defeat getting 5. Celestial Ops managed in the third round to bring it down only to 2 goals, right? So the games get closer. The players are getting more warmed up. We're getting more warmed up in the casters booth as well. As yeah, that takes away the first round for the Swiss stage.
Warm-ups is right. It is Ignition Cup after all. So we got the fuel, we've got the fire, and more gameplay coming around the corner. So we will take a quick break, but again, don't go too far. A lot of exciting games ahead as these teams play for their share of the $1,000 prize pool here across our 3 regions. But again, stay tuned. We'll have some more, plenty more coming up next. We'll be right back.
VR Master League and Another Axiom are proud to introduce the Phoenix Driftball Invitational, Orion Drift's first ever on-stage tournament at VRMLCon 2025. For those attending the event, gather your team and enter for a chance to play on stage and compete for the $5,000 grand prize.
The format is simple. Phase 1 is an online open qualifier bracket where every team that enters will battle it out for a top seed. The top 16 teams from the qualifier will earn their spot on stage and move forward to compete at VRMLCon on July 27th.
The competition truly begins with the Phoenix phase, a single elimination bracket played in person across 2 different stages throughout the day. It all culminates in the Driftball Grand Finals, the closing act of the event, where only one champion can be crowned.
Want to throw your hat in the ring? Use the VRML Discords to find a team of fellow attendees and sign up using the form in the server. Just remember, all players must have tickets and be attending the event to sign up. Online players will not be eligible for the Phoenix stage.
VRMLCon 2025 is shaping up to be the event of a lifetime. Don't miss your chance for an unforgettable VR experience. Get your tickets and sign up for the Phoenix Invitational today.
Prepare to
Only
start.
Baron left alive. Where is Baron? In the spawn. Can somebody reinforce?
Spud in the bottom going absolutely crazy, getting the 2K.
Match point.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Orion Drift. Welcome back to VRML's Ignition Cup here as we start off our next round of gameplay here right about now, I believe, as we have the Talos players against O Block Drifters in this first round. Already in progress, it looks like. So welcome back. I'm Paldor, have Punda and Retro Cat here casting with me. Punda, take it away.
Yeah, so we might have missed the very beginning of this game, but I don't think any goals have been scored. So here we are going to be seeing, I guess, Talos and O-Block Drifters battle it out, as it's going to be, I believe, O-Block Drifters here. Bring it up too high. Oh, that's a nice little bounce off the cloud. With a nice little slap. Is that going to go in, though? It's going to hit it sinks straight in. And, well, that's O-Block Drifters starting off the round.
But talk about a long shot, and at the beginning of the game, too, just over the arch, right into the goal. Let's see how Newton does this round, throwing that ball up in the air.
There's a name I recognize there, certainly, Talos and Newton Horse coming in here from Echo as well. So nice to see them as Orako Chen has the ball just briefly. No doubt just butchered that name. But nonetheless, trying to skate around there with a couple attempts at the goal, was not able to convert, as it will be Righteous now with a speedy approach into the goal, but a nice save there from Agent.
100%. It's going to be, I think Poppy SR sort of with a pass, another pass, and that's, 3 players involved in that little play there as O-Block Drifters going to get their second goal for the game.
Just talk about letting their guard down right there. Just smacking it just straight into the middle right there with that goalie. Just brilliant, Punda.
I mean, I let my guard down there for a second, and then all of a sudden they scored, as we're going to have here Orako-chan with a nice pass off to Justice Lie Music, who's also another old Echo user, that's Talos' first goal.
Just back and forth with these goals. Both of them, just great offensive play. Gotta say, this is going to be a fun one to watch, Palador, as both these teams have that chemistry.
Yeah, looks like it. So a few scores now combined on the board as Orako-chan has the ball for just a moment. Sends it over to Righteous, though, on the overtake. Once and twice. No, the defense diving out as Agent sends it down the mid lane. It will be now worked the floor by Trix, trying to go into the bag of Trix, perhaps with a nice carve, but will be dislodged there, knocked out by Austin, taken back by Orako. Orako with the passing play to Agent. Agent unable to control the ball there and slapped right back towards the mid, but a lot of bothersome defense, and Orako is doing a great job of getting the ball quite a bit here in the midfield, playing those lanes.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a cluster as 3 players are on that ball trying to chase it, but Poppy SR is going to be walking away with it, taken up high on the right side. Maybe a little stop. No, gets denied by Trix, I believe, as now it's going to be a big clear down to the left side. And Trix going to sort of chase around. There's another clear, and we got just a game of ping pong going on here.
Yeah, a bit of ping pong, exchanges of possession now, a pile up here in the corners. Trix will come away with it for a second, but Righteous now slapping it right back towards the mid, where once again it will change possessions, it would seem, or maybe not. Actually, all the players there unable to wrangle the ball for a second, so Poppy will come away with it. And Poppy now trying to pop one up to Righteous, but Righteous being stunned, tackled that is nicely. As the ball still remains on this side of the floor, however, but another unsuccessful drive and exchanging possessions once again back to the black side.
Yes, here we go. It's going to be Austin here. Sort of just bringing it around, carve around the offenders, and the defenders is now we're going to have a big passing here. A little bounce off the nest there. It's going to be a nice clear out to the right side, maybe to the enemy team, though, as now it's going to be, I believe, Talos here with possession. Never mind. No, back to O-Block Drifters. They're going to be sort of taken around. Talos doing really good, just shadowing the, I guess, the defense here as they're going to be taking it around. O-Block is going to go Poppy SR, takes it up high, takes it down low, doesn't know where it's going to go. It's going to go right back into the, I guess, sewers. It's a bit, once again, just a bit of cluster, but it's going to be Talos to clear.
And only seconds left here. Talos needs a score if they want to see an overtime. Otherwise, round about to go the opposite way. So time just about out here. Newton Torres trying to chase it down. Righteous as well. I need to keep that ball above ground and aware of the situation. Righteous with a wise move slaps it to end the round and stop the clock there as we now have the end of the first. O-Block Drifters, take it away.
That was just a brilliant round, Punda and Palador. Just great defensive plays from both of the teams there. Gotta say, for unlike the last round, this one is kind of like a close and close. By by that 1 point, it was just 2-1 onto the board. But O-Block just coming into the end, just taking that defensive play and just taking it overall.
Yeah, it was
Hi,
definitely,
Chowtown.
you know,
There, I got you.
saying hi in chat. Yeah, good. Hi everyone in chat. We got some, I guess, new faces popping up as well. Yeah, we've got people cheering for O-Block Drifters. Yeah, they're definitely taken away the first game, but it was a close series regardless. We, just
Yeah.
1 goal difference. No, you can't tell who's going to win the next game. It's unlike our previous series where we had I think it was like a 5-1 first game. This one's close. Maybe we'll get maybe we'll go round 5 this time. As we're going to jump right into round 2. Palador, take it away.
All right, well, let's go. And appropriately, Chowtown, we're about to chow down a feast of matches here today on stream for OCE and, of course, NAEU coming later on in the day or night, depending on where you live. But will be not night, but it will be right. Oh, wrong, says Newton Horse. A good denial on right shot. Another one bouncing in. Will be right, taking it eventually on the rebound.
Just a rebound shot was really tricky, but he did just manage to get that goal into there at the last moment. Gotta love that when somebody's just right there just to put it in.
Yes, Hobby has had a nice recovery on that, I guess that clear, which is sort of sealing cards around his Newton Horse, and now with the counter. Takes up high, right, just sort of following, and it's going to be, Rakochan almost getting it. It's going to be Tricks in the end with possession, maybe looking for the pass off to the right. Let's see, goes off the side there, off a bridge, I believe that is. As it's going to be Rakochan intercepting that clear, but can he get this goal? No, it's going to go out all the way to the right side. Rakochan's once again going to receive it, passing off to the nest as Tricks forced to go high. Maybe going down low, goes to the little shot down there, doesn't really connect as Austin with a clear.
I really like the Telos spacing there, and the positioning was really good. The only thing they lacked there was just executing those passes at the end, but their positioning was on point. They didn't get panicked. They were putting themselves in a good place to receive the ball or to even get in the way and intercept. We do see steal here going from Poppy and Co, so they're going to back that out just a little bit and waiting for the players. It looks like trying to show that patience, waiting for the offense to form, the positioning to form. So, likewise for O-Block Drifters, good positioning too. You can see the passing at work, and it does work very, very well. Nice score.
And just a boom into the goal, throwing it to him at nest and just chucking it right in there with no goalie in the goal. Just open.
Here we go.
I was going to call out that, open net there, but, I guess the other team, O-Block Drifters sort of noticed it as well as they managed to sink that goal. But it's going to be someone struggling to sort of keep possession on the ball here. Tricks with a pass out to Nessa, Rakochan, maybe going to go for the straight down shot, maybe with a recovery, with a no way, with a backward. The recovery, no, doesn't manage. It's going to be, I think, O-Block Drifters just clearing it out. And it's going to be sort of just contested now in Suez.
Yeah, will be some great carving, though. Will buy some space for a Rakochan. Really showing that great movement, but will lose the ball there at the end. And now Tricks trying to collect as well as Newton Horse, but Newton has it stolen there, slapped out by Jamal. Jamal VR from the ceiling will recover that one now, and will back it out, just trying to find, again, that good spacing, but well read by Tricks, is up to their Tricks indeed, and cut off that passing lane to buy some offense right back for Talos.
Yeah, as we're going to have a nice cut pass here. Doesn't manage to connect. Telos, I feel like they play very passive, but they're really good with that passes. It's just they're not connecting them, as it's going to be O-Block Drifters here with that's some nice mechanical skill there. There's a movement to get the pass in, but it's not really going to connect again. As here it's going to be Urako sort of playing around this attacker here. He manages to get it past him. It's going to be, I think, Tricks here with possession, maybe with a pass to the right. No, they can't really get a hold of it. It's going to be a bit of a cluster here and a big slap down in Newton Horse. His moment to shine goes to the bounce shot. Unfortunately, doesn't connect as that goes right back to their side.
Well, that skedaddles right its way into the goal from deep. How about the hit off a turnover?
Talk about a long shot! Full court too! That was awesome.
Yeah, great job there, O-Block. You just, now Cat's down to 8 lives. You killed him with that one. Right back into the midfield. Indeed, a hype goal coming in from deep. And Bunda, that's one of those back-breaking goals. They hurt, those full court ones. Even though this game, all of it's just worth 1 point, but you still hate to see it if you're the defending team.
Yeah, that's the demoralizer right there. The question is, can they keep their mental in check as Newton Horse is going to be contested here? Gets it stolen off of, I think, Poppy Asar is now another little pass down here. It's sort of to nobody. I think Agent FP. I think this is a team entirely of Echo players, by the way.
Yeah. Talos.
New and old, yeah. So it's just Talos coming back, which is nice to see. As it's going to be once again just another cluster, sort of fighting it out here.
That's one of my favorite parts, I think, of these tournaments so far in VRML that I've casted between the Pioneer Cup and now this Ignition Cup is, again, seeing the new faces is always a pleasure, but seeing all these returning players, even returning from their former teams in a different game, right? The fact that you still see that camaraderie, that's a thing of beauty. That's the beautiful part about VR and the social side of it, across the years. So a fun thing to witness for sure.
Yeah, the passion, their passion stays strong. And the legacy lives on, I guess. It's going to be, I think, pass that to nobody. Is Newton Horse going to come racing in and intercepting that with a bit of, I guess, a panicked clear? Is no real reason to clear that one there. As it now goes to the other, towards O-Block Drifter's possession. Is Poppy SI goes in for the run. Agent FP with good defense denies that offense. Is it's going to be another just clear up into the air, and another cluster as 3 players chase this ball.
Yeah, beautiful save there from Agent as the time has about ran out, and there it will be indeed the end of the round. So much less contested this time. O-Block, a tremendous second round here. RetroCat to definitively take it 3 points for them, but holding Talos completely scoreless that time.
Just O-Block taking the W on that round. Like you guys were saying, these guys are mostly Echo players coming to Orion Drift, really just putting the disc down and picking up that drift ball there. That was just brilliant. I think Talos did just leave their guard around, did leave their goal a little bit open. If they do have somebody back there and manage to play that defensive play, I really think the other teammates could push up on the offense and they could get a couple of scores next round if they really want to win this next round.
Yeah, indeed. As I said earlier, I think they're playing a bit too passive sometimes. As they're trying to, I guess, figure out the pace of the play. But we should be going back into this round any second, I believe. It's perfectly timed. I'm the best for that. As we're going to be seeing where will this go initially. It'll be who's going to get it. Arako missing the ball. It's going to be Austin with first possession.
All right, Newton Horse trying to gallop down the floor and chase that one down. It will be right, though, trying to make a way for a goal. Takes an awkward bounce, a tackle there, double tackle, in fact. Poppy and Twin meeting each other there, trying to constantly just disable each other. You see, struggling to get the ball there, busy with the tickle fights as Poppy now sends it up high. Newton Horse once again trying to chase that down. It will be actually Arako with the ball here, up by Halo. Now diving in for some offense, potentially Punda, all by his lonesome. It does not work out.
There's almost a goal there for Talos. They need that. That was the sort of goal that brings back your momentum. As that's a bit of another panic clear. As Poppy SR is going to take it high with a bit of a ceiling carve. Keeps possession. Knows they've got a bit of time. Juke around 1, Juke around 2. Up high on the nest. Oh, you can't give Poppy SR this much room. As they're going to know it's the defense from Talos, absolutely denying that amazing play. It's Trix now with the ball.
Oh, what a tremendous series of cars, but just didn't have the finish. Poppy almost popped off in that case, but it will be Austin now with the ball trying to regain control, but Arako's there to disrupt that opportunity. Poppy now also takes it away, being bothered there by Trix. And right back, once again, you can just see the tight spaces that these players are playing with, having to maintain control of the ball, dribble around, juke. Now another attempt here on offense with some more jukes, but a very tough go of things here for Talos to get their first score. Some sturdy defense being shown by O-Block.
Yeah, this is Arako. That's a dangerous miss, but manages to get there just in time with a bit of a, panic clear. As it's going to go down to Poppy SR. No, it's going to be Opcrop manages to take it. It's going to be a bit of just a challenge as the passes are trying to be made here, but who's going to get the final possession is the question. It's going to be Trix. No, it's not. It's going to be O-Block Drifters. No, it's going to be nobody as the ball is just getting fumbled around. These are one of those moments where the play is not really in anyone's possession. It's just a fight, a bit of a furball. As it's going to be, once again, all 4 players on this ball. That's dangerous. They left the goal open.
And talk about a fight. Just rushing in there, seeing that opportunity, and just going, boom, straight into the goal.
Straight into an open goal at that. We saw that once in the prior rounds as well. Those ones will definitely kill you. Everyone, piling on the ball there, but unfortunately, just a miscommunication on who's guarding the goal. Will be an attempted goal here. Talos still trying to get their scores on the first score on the board. We have a little over 2 minutes remaining, so still plenty of time to do it. Although on the offense now, it's O-Block right at it. It's Poppy. There's a carve, and will carve himself a nice meal like a Thanksgiving turkey. And that's our second goal here.
just rushing in there like a football player and just slamming it straight into the goal. That was just impressive. And talk about impressive was that catch from the midfield line.
Yeah, Poppy are really showing off their, I guess, their moves is when given too much room, managed to get a goal. That's going to be one of their teammates. I didn't see who that was exactly. Managed to sneak another goal, putting him up by 3.
We are 3-0 onto the board. Could this be a mercy? That was just a brilliant goal back there, just bouncing straight into the goal. It was awesome.
I think losing the concentration there just a little bit. They lost the ball, and we saw now a few goals in the span of maybe 45 seconds. We've seen 3 goals now, getting away from Telos a little bit, and Oblak taking full advantage, Punda.
Yeah, we're going to pretend we didn't see that last play there from Noon Horses. We're going to see somebody. I don't know who's got the ball now, but they're going to be challenged by a couple of defenders. And it's going to be Oblak with a big slap downfield. Can they get the second slap to follow it up as a question? The answer is no. It's going to be Talos, Arako-chan, up high with a shot just underneath the goalie. That's going to be first goal.
Just rushing into there, getting their first point onto the board. Gotta give themselves a pat on the back for that one. Nice speed and just a carve straight into the goal.
A good time to get that goal on the board, but indeed time is still running out, so maybe not a lot of it left for a comeback situation. But nonetheless, it is again 5 rounds of Swiss on the brackets here, 5 matches that is. So every goal counts, as we see one more go down there to carry you over into the future matches on this weekend-long tournament.
Just really letting that goal open right there is just very, very, very unlucky. It's going to just really bite you there. But just a nice slam into the goal from that open goal.
Yeah, as we have a bit of a, I guess a bit of plays going here. Is that something a nice nest pass? And the connection here happens. Righteous goes for the sort of just, the stall shot. That's going to be a big clear downfield from Talos. Is it going to go in? No, it's going to bounce right off Nest. Poppy Hassan now with a turnaround. Immediately denied by, I think it was Tricks there. It's going to be game over. I don't realize what the time was. As that is Oblak Drifters taking their second game, I believe, for the round, or for the series.
Just incredible. That was just an incredible game from the Oblak Drifters and from Talos. I gotta say, from Talos, they did pretty good. They did get those couple of scores going in the first game and third game. They did get 1 point onto the board. Just leaving that goal open just really bited them, and it just sucks. But they would have had somebody at that goalie line. I think they would have got that. But from Oblak Drifters, that was incredible. Nice communication, nice passing play, just the chemistry on point.
Absolutely, and then Jucifer there in the chat pointing out as well. Exactly, in the Swiss format, scoring also matters too. For potential tiebreakers and whatnot later as well. So again, it matters for momentum, it matters for the tournament form, and it matters for the cast as well, because we like casting those nice goals. And we saw a good handful of them there, as we just saw even the replays too of some of those long shots and such. The full court one, a couple open goals that Oblak certainly took advantage of. They were really on point today.
Indeed, that is the series over, I believe. That's 3-0. Another sweep. As we'll get our 5-round overtime game today, I hope. Maybe tomorrow.
Indeed.
We'll see.
And before we do head to a quick break here, I also just want to again point out that this the Ignition Cup, just like the Pioneer Cup, playing for their share of $1,000 between our 3 regions, and of course, becoming one of the earliest Cup champions of VRML and Orion Drift. So they got those bragging rights as well. Participants will get tags, I do believe, in the game. Also, as another little prize for playing, which you can show off for years to come, no doubt. And of course, we do have the qualifiers upcoming as well for the VRML Con. Not to mention VRML Con itself coming up on July 25th through 27th. But you can see the qualifiers there, June 27th through 29th. Indeed, it's going to be an amazing event here. They're competing for their share of a $5,000 cash pool for Orion Drift and $20,000 total across our games being featured at VRML Con. So again, guys, go to vrmlcon.com, check it out, buy your tickets, be there if you can. As you can see right now in these highlight videos, wonderful opportunity, wonderful time to meet like-minded people, meet your rivals, your friends, your favorite casters, moderators even. I know you guys love them. At least we do, of course. Indeed. Punda's one of them. And we love ourselves Punda. But it's a great time anytime you have these kind of events. And so if you can make it out, do so. I'll be there for sure. And can't wait to meet and cast a bunch of y'all at VRML Con. It'll be a fun time.
Yeah, and
So
for
that
people
being
asking
said,
yeah,
go ahead.
I was saying, for the people asking for the bracket, I've just put it in chat there. Copy that in the browser.
There you go.
Your bracket, the challenge bracket. Maybe
Challenge.
we get pinned, who knows? Challenge. I like it's a funny name. That will be us. We'll be taking a short break, and we should be back afterwards. Any final words?
That'll do it. We're short break indeed. I think the other matches are just about complete, hopefully. So we won't be gone too long. Fingers crossed, but you know how it goes. Don't pay attention to those clocks. They mean nothing, but we'll be back soon.
VR Master League and Another Axiom are proud to introduce the Phoenix Driftball Invitational, Orion Drift's first ever on-stage tournament at VRML Con 2025. For those attending the event, gather your team and enter for a chance to play on stage and compete for the $5,000 grand prize.
The format is simple. Phase 1 is an online open qualifier bracket where every team that enters will battle it out for a top seed. The top 16 teams from the qualifier will earn their spot on stage and move forward to compete at VRML Con on July 27th.
The competition truly begins with the Phoenix phase, a single elimination bracket played in person across 2 different stages throughout the day. It all culminates in the Driftball Grand Finals, the closing act of the event, where only one champion can be crowned.
Want to throw your hat in the ring? Use the VRML Discords to find a team of fellow attendees and sign up using the form in the server. Just remember, all players must have tickets and be attending the event to sign up. Online players will not be eligible for the Phoenix stage.
VRMLCon 2025 is shaping up to be the event of a lifetime. Don't miss your chance for an unforgettable VR experience. Get your tickets and sign up for the Phoenix Invitational today.
Prepare to
Only
start.
Baron left alive. Where is Baron? In the spawn. Can somebody
Go.
Spud in the bottom going absolutely crazy, getting the 2K.
Match point.
VR Master League and Another Axiom are proud to introduce the Phoenix Drift Ball Invitational, Orion Drift's first ever on-stage tournament at VRML 2025. For those attending the event, gather your team and enter for a chance to play on stage and compete for the $5,000 grand prize.
The format is simple. Phase 1 is an online open qualifier bracket where every team that enters will battle it out for a top seed. The top 16 teams from the qualifier will earn their spot on stage and move forward to compete at VRMLCon on July 27th.
The competition truly begins with the Phoenix phase, a single elimination bracket played in person across 2 different stages throughout the day. It all culminates in the Drift Ball Grand Finals, the closing act of the event, where only one champion can be crowned.
Want to throw your hat in the ring? Use the VRML Discords to find a team of fellow attendees and sign up using the form in the server. Just remember, all players must have tickets and be attending the event to sign up. Online players will not be eligible for the Phoenix stage.
VRMLCon 2025 is shaping up to be the event of a lifetime. Don't miss your chance for an unforgettable VR experience. Get your tickets and sign up for the Phoenix Invitational today.
Prepare to
Only
start.
Baron left alive. Where is Baron? In the spawn. Can somebody
Go.
Spud in the bottom going absolutely crazy, getting the 2K.
Match phase.
VR Master League and Another Axiom are proud to introduce the Phoenix Drift Ball Invitational, Orion Drift's first ever on-stage tournament at VRMLCon 2025. For those attending the event, gather your team and enter for a chance to play on stage and compete for the $5,000 grand prize.
The format is simple. Phase 1 is an online open qualifier bracket where every team that enters will battle it out for a top seed. The top 16 teams from the qualifier will earn their spot on stage and move forward to compete at VRMLCon on July 27th.
The competition truly begins with the Phoenix phase, a single elimination bracket played in person across 2 different stages throughout the day. It all culminates in the Driftball Grand Finals, the closing act of the event, where only one champion can be crowned.
Want to throw your hat in the ring? Use the VRML Discords to find a team of fellow attendees and sign up using the form in the server. Just remember, all players must have tickets and be attending the event to sign up. Online players will not be eligible for the Phoenix stage.
VRMLCon 2025 is shaping up to be the event of a lifetime. Don't miss your chance for an unforgettable VR experience. Get your tickets and sign up for the Phoenix Invitational today.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the VRML Ignition Cup. I'm Palador, being joined by RetroCat, Rydell on the cast, Wonder T on the cams. Retro, we have Vegemites, we have the Derpy Drifters. Hopefully their gameplay isn't quite as derpy as their names, but I can dig it. I like it. We're about to see these two teams go head-to-head for the first time here on our stream. We're able to cast these two.
Yeah, it should be a fun one. Vegemites and Derpy Drifters. I never had Vegemite before. You know, you put it on toast and you eat it. I don't know, but these two teams should be great. Can't wait to see how they play, and just let's see what they can do. Wow us.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it indeed. What's up, chat there? See you guys stopping by again, just for pointing out. Oh snap! Team logos are up. That means soon. So you're picking up on it. You don't need any clock. You just need the intuition, the perception. The logos are up. That means teams are ready, or at least close.
Perception of time in space.
Indeed, mathematical time. So on these rosters, who do we have here? Vegemites, we have Soul Speed 1, Oscar Bear, Jordan Riggs, Pons, and Paz, or Pazzy. I'm going to take a pause on that.
On the Derpy Drifter side, we have Overshock, Coconut, VR, Pickle OD, Awesomeness, Crossout, and Zodiac Beast. I don't know if I'm reading these.
Zodiac
right.
Beast. Also,
Zodiac
it's
Beast.
Mr. Awesome. Mr. You had to put respect on the name.
Yeah, Mr. Awesome.
Indeed. It's like if someone just called you Cat, you'd be like, "What? It's Retro Cat. You don't call me Cat. Can I call you Cat?"
I mean,
just kidding.
people have called me Cat before. I was like
Oh,
Cat?
okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I have a cousin named Cat. Fun facts. Not really. Can't believe my optical sensors. I recognize that name and that phrase. My name is gone. Is it? I have no name. I have no name.
It's just the
shame.
Arizona iced tea.
It's okay. My name cannot be handled. Don't worry about it. But all right. So yeah, this is our third match here of the day. We're doing 5 Swiss rounds today. So got still a couple matches more to come, including this one. This is our third match of the day here. We're following the Pioneer Cup, of course. We had Jim's Drifters winning that one last month, towards the end of last month, and I'm sure and positive that we'll be seeing them also on the cast before all too long. But definitely happy to get as many unique teams, different teams as we can on these streams, like to feature as many as possible here in VRML, of course.
Gotta just pick those teams out. And isn't the cash prize $1,000 across all regions?
Indeed, yes. 1,000, just like the Pioneer Cup. The Ignition Cup here is a $1,000 prize pool split amongst our regions, of course, all leading up to our qualifier cups for VRMLCon and VRMLCon itself at the end of July there, July 25th through 27th, where there will be $5,000 on the line between our competing teams and $20,000 across all our VRML games that are featured at the con in Phoenix, Arizona. So again, mentioned that at the end of the last match, but I'll say it again. If you can, be there. Definitely love seeing everyone and having that gathering of the like-minded, VR heads or whatever we are. Drifters, I suppose, in this case, but it'll be fun to meet everyone and see everyone, and talking with you earlier, Retro, right? Maybe we'll get one over on the east side again someday. Actually, that's a nice thing. See, from Echo, I'm used to doing all these. There was almost exclusively eastern lands for most of Echo's lifespan, but now we got some western ones, so I'm digging it for now. But maybe we'll be back in the east someday.
Yeah, never been to Phoenix, Arizona, so should be fun. I'm personally not going, but the next con, I will definitely be going to that one for sure, and be casting brilliant Orion Drift games there the next con.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at this upcoming one in Phoenix, that's actually my hometown that it's taking place in. I haven't been there in a year, granted, so it'll be nice to catch up with people, my VR family and my real life family. Will be a nice time. But yeah, Orion Drift. To your point, though, it's one of our big headlining games. Obviously new and in early access at the moment, but we will have an entire day dedicated to just Orion Drift. So we're definitely going to get a lot of great gameplay, and it'll be fun to watch and to cast.
Yeah, I can't wait to see like the qualifiers and the teams actually at the con playing on the stage, playing Orion Drift, and just having people watch them. I'm just imagining it in my head right now.
Well, it's a different beast, right? Because you're used to the environment of the online gameplay and whatnot. But once you're put into those LAN headsets, you have that much lower ping, and not only that, then you have the sound of the casters, you have the sound of the crowd. It gets rowdy, it gets raucous, and you have to suddenly deal with all this outside factor of just having so much of that added stimuli, the added pressure of performing with so many people watching, cheering, booing, hopefully not booing, but sometimes it's a crazy thing, LAN, so it's a fun thing to experience for sure.
Yeah, it's just going to be a whole different environment in general for the players. But just can't wait to see all these like regional teams come together at this con and just see who's just one of the best Orion Drift teams and taking that $5,000 dollar dues. That's a lot of ice creams that you can buy, Palador. A lot of ice creams.
You know what? And then being in Phoenix in the summer, you're going to want some ice cream. So, get yourself some. Jucifer there in the chat saying, sweating on a public stage. That's definitely a fact. I am, one of the benefits, I guess, of transitioning from player to caster, especially at these LAN events, is I don't have to be the sweatiest one on the floor anymore. Used to be the case. It's not a pretty sight, not a pleasant sight or smell. So, I'm much more comfortable and a little bit less sweaty in the cast, although if the games are intense enough, I also sweat. So never you mind. Looks
like Crescendo said in the chat he also likes ice cream too. I like ice cream too. Mint chip's my favorite flavor. People hate on it, but just personally, I just like minty ice cream.
And I think we're trying to also, side note from that, trying to figure out what's going on with the game here. We initially had 7 out of 8 players in our arena, but now we only have a couple. Where have they gone?
Yeah, they.
Oh, Jesus. So it sounds like I just turned on VoIP. Sounds like one of the players on one of the teams is missing a player. I'm not sure the reason or if it's a battery thing or not, but it sounds like it would have been a 3v4. So we may have to take a quick intermission, just nothing else, to switch up our match that we're going to cast in progress, I guess. So sorry about that, folks. We'll be back in a sec. Stay tuned. Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to VRML Ignition Cup. So, I'll fill you in on what's happening real quick. Our last match we intended to cast, unfortunately, had to get canceled because of one player missing. So it would have been a 3v4. Therefore, we're going to hop into another match in progress, which means, because, you know, early access and stuff, bear with us. It's the first round. I have no idea what the time is. We don't know what the scores are for that matter. We'll be set up for the second round, though. But, yeah, Retro... you know, we can cut into the gameplay now, I suppose, and then take a look at these players, and we'll just do our best. Apologies, but thanks for bearing with us here.
Let's see, as they are just fighting over that ball, going straight up to the bridge line. Just a real brawl right there in the bridge play, as it's just going back as he whoops it right down to the field onto there. It's just a big brawl down into the midfield line, Palador, as he chucks that in, but oh, with the save.
All right, and with who knows how much time on the clock and what score is on the board, some intense gameplay and action in the bottom of the goal there, but unfortunately it turns into a bit of a self-goal as the Talos players kind of all are piled up on the ball there.
Looks like they do have taken possession of the ball. Newton House throws it up into the air right now, going right to Chen right here. Okio Chen? Taking that possession as it's going to KG right now. He's zooming down to the field, going to be captured right by his teammate. They're playing just really, really, really fast, both teams here. Just great defensive play from both teams as they're going to the midfield point, right straight back to Logo. Oh, trying to get that bounce off, but just doesn't succeed.
And that will be a nice take there, attempted by Harrison on the return. Could not get the goal to go either. The defense now hopping out and trying to chase down that ball in the midfield. Meanwhile, good positioning here by Frank and Finn and co, just really covering their lanes well and just making sure that before they collect the ball, they still have the coverage necessary in case it doesn't go their way. Ball continues, though, Retro, to be lost here in the middle as these teams both jostle for positioning.
Positioning indeed, as they're trying to go as KG's rushing right to the ball, going straight to Sewer right now. This is just a brawl in midfield as going straight onto the Logo side on blue team. But are they going to chuck that in? And they do.
And it will be taken here back by Oracle Chen and Frank. Yeah, okay, the round did end. So again, apologies, folks. We had to really last minute switch up our intended cast, so we had to join this one in progress. Now we can reset the proper time and know the scores for the next round. So bear with us, you know, work in progress. But yeah, it's still, nonetheless, fun to watch these teams, cast these teams, and you know, Talos gets another go at it on stream, obviously, against these retro crusty gusters. That may be one of the best names of all the teams here in this tournament today.
That is just a brilliant name, I think. Talos, from what we've seen before, they were just they were doing pretty good. They're from what you say, most of those players are from Echo, and they are just a seeding. But we're about to go into round 2 here, as Twix does take possession of the ball, rushing straight up the bridge here. Gonna chuck that in, but oh, just gets defensive by Frank here.
And Frank now with a little juke, but does not see the defender Sly from behind. Indeed, a Sly defense, as they will send it right back into that Sewer. Chasing it down is Orico. Orico might have the goal, but no, has to back it out a little bit. The defense intense from Frank, able to shove him out of the way. Orico, though, returning the favor with another shove, trying to pass it over to Sly, but it will be Harrison instead, getting it for Krusty. But as I say that, it's a turnover once again. Trix slipping by, trying to deliver a nice pass there to Sly, but also flies by. And now a scrum at the side wall here.
So Trix is just aiming that, going right there to Harrison, trying to throw that right back down. Bush is going to get catched by Frank, taking that straight up on the halo, rushing straight to the goal like a bull. But oh, just gets hit and try to get that pass play, as it's just a battle at Logo right here.
A battle indeed, Retro, as all the players gathering there for a second. I think someone even lost their headset for a second, but they're back in the game now. A battle up at the bridge as Twix sends it way into the mid zone. Past one player, past two players. This might be an opening if Orico can capture that ball, but now the defense closing in on the goal and the ball. Orico trying to deliver a pass there to Twix, and oh, the shot slips it right by. What a beautiful hit in the pocket.
Just that beautiful pass play right there, right to his teammate, and a straight into the goal. Let's see how they can take this this game, as they're gonna chuck that straight to his teammate, right on the halo right now, straight back. Nice coordination, just that back play, not really unexpected, but just the wicked defense from this team is just incredible, Palador.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 2 minutes in, we finally got our first goal. Talos on the board, seeing if they can defend this one now as another one goes dangerously close. It will be Harrison there to pick it up first as his teammates there converge on the ball as well. Some more scrums in that midline. Coming away with the ball will be Oracle for a moment, but slapped out of there by Frank. Now taken by Trix. However, Harrison playing some good defense and some aggressive ones with a tackle, slaps it all the way to the opposite side of the floor, where it's taken by Newton, who sends it the opposite way now.
Looks like he's going to chuck that back into a defense, but oh, just gets intercepted right there, saying nope, as they're just playing under the sewer right there. They're all just in scrambles right now, Valador.
Yeah.
They're taking possession of the ball right now, going up, going to just chuck that back up there.
Yeah, we've talked about it so many times here on these casts across these weekends, but man, the pace of Orion Drift is just breakneck. The speed, the chases, and the scores that can happen in a blink of an eye. The possession exchanges in a blink of an eye. Before you know it, you have defenders punching you in the eye, tackling you, interrupting you, just making you all kinds of frantic as we get a deep fling there. Will be denied at the last second, though, and some more scrums here is taken over at that wall, but again, those tackles and the defense, you really can't even breathe sometimes in OD.
So Frank is taking possession of the ball, gonna zoom around to there, gonna chuck it to his teammate, but oh, just really doesn't catch it as he tries to zoop it back, going straight up to Talos, to one of the Talos team members, but going back up to Frank KJ right here as they're taking it is just a battle right here onto the bridge side.
And now only a minute and a half left on this clock, and Krusty still yet to score. Have some time to make it, and they do indeed. So there it is, a tie up here, Retro. Minute 20 remaining.
We are neck to neck right now, but time is of the essence. Could this go into overtime, or could this just be a win for for one of the teams? Looks like Vin VR is trying to take that possession of the ball, but loses it over there. It's going straight back onto the Krusty Gusters team member, trying to get that regrab there. Gonna slam that input to that wicked save, but no! Denying it, putting it straight into that goal, Palador!
Oh, Newton, the beast there on defense initially, but unfortunately, as is so often the case, that second attempt comes in, and it will just make a goalie's life miserable. Great job there by Krusty, now taking a lead late, less than a minute here, as Frank moves in on the goal, maybe looking for another one. The defense trying to scramble. They do have some success once and twice, but they need to get some offense going here as the time is winding down, 27 seconds.
So they are taking this on, but I gotta say, Palador, from both teams, they do have that defensive play here, as they're just nice wicked save from Chan right there, throwing it down the field. Could that be a long shot into the goal? Just gonna barely hit that rim, but could that be just ricochet shot into the goal?
Wow, and only 5 seconds here remaining. We might be looking at that OT. I feel bad for Punda. He was calling at the end of his last cast. Maybe we'll get that OT here soon. And now he's not here to witness it, but let's see. It might not happen after all as another ball goes sailing down the floor. We are in overtime here, and it's sudden death Retro. Exciting. First time on our streams here today.
Teeth shattering, Palador, as we are in sudden death here. This could be anybody's game at the moment. Looks like they are taking possession of the ball. Gonna be throwing that down to the side. Looks like red team, the Krusty Gusters is gonna be running down, but the tackle play at the midpoint line, they are just both sweating very bad. Who's gonna get this goal?
And we've seen some of these overtimes in the Pioneer Cup last month as well go many minutes long, 3, 4, 5 minutes long in a few cases actually across our streams. So they can be intense. It's Wild West here as Harrison now trying to gather that ball and just again find the opportunities, the concentration, because the longer you go, the more frantic it gets. And usually it's a team who manages to breathe for a second, slow it down some way, somehow, that are able to get that focus and that game-winning goal.
Looks like they are onto the side. Could this be a goal? Oh! And that's game, folks! From just the side there, the Krusty Gusters take that. Wow.
And the celebration from Finn, you can see him throw the arms up in the air, and how appropriate as well, right? Finn did just that. It's Finn. It's done. It's over. But you gotta love those visible, the physical celebrations. That's one of the best things about VR Sports Retro, is when you see that body language of an intense moment, come to fruition, and you just see that celebration and the elation. It's great.
But also, from Talos' side, give your guys also a pat on the back. You guys did incredible. Palador, if you just saw from their side, they just had some of those great defensive plays and great goal saves from their side. It was just great from both teams, but the Crusty Gusters really stepping on the offensive side and taking that W overall.
Yes, indeed. And round 3 about to start now. Again, just a reminder to those tuning in, or maybe who tuned us out earlier when we were speaking. We don't know the results of the first round. We had to join this match in progress because their last expected cast actually got canceled. So we had to move into this one. So we actually don't know what the series score is exactly, but we do see a serious score exactly right from Oracle-chan.
Just really walking it in there, Palador, like he doesn't care. Looks like you're going to be on the halo point right there, going down, going fast. Gonna chuck that to his teammate. Harrison takes possession of the ball. Gonna slam that down. Slam dunk.
Wow, back and forth the first 30 seconds and a couple of close proximity goals as Newton Horse rides on into the front line, sends a good pass to Trix. And again, don't know what the first round was, but if as good as the second round was and as good as the third round is turning out so far, this is a good match to pick. Indeed, these teams are hyper competitive with each other, Retro.
Looks like they both are stepping up on their offense, really pushing each other to the limits. We're at 1-1 here, folks, neck to neck still. But looks like they are taking possession. Is this an open goal? And it's open, and a pretty wicked long shot straight into the goal.
Right from that bag of tricks, it sticks. Beautiful shot there on an open goal. The defense could not get back on the coverage that time. Some offense now being disrupted. A nice tackle by Trix, but Large Gus retains, and oh, nice slapper out of there. And it's going to be a big save by Oracle playing the defense, but now the goal a little exposed. Newton closing it off. A beautiful hit there and underhands it to the midfield.
So they're going to be playing a little downwards, going up straight. Could this be in? Shane does have possession of the ball. Oh, almost gets at him, but just gets deflected by the defensive team of Talos here as they are taking this under bridge right now. Could this be in? Oh, and just a deny there.
Yeah, oh, once or twice. Another one getting right over the arms there. Newton had the first beautiful save, but couldn't do it twice. As I said, it's the biggest crime against goalkeepers to have such a nice save, but then to just have that rebound shot go right over your head. Hurts to see, but if you're the offense, you love to see it because now we got a 2-2 tie here halfway through the round. What a match.
Palador, I say we're in pretty hot water right now. I think this could be another overtime we go into from what we're seeing from both of these teams and how they play here. But there is still 2 minutes and 30 seconds onto the board, so anything can happen here as FX does take possession of the ball, throws it to that midpoint line to KG. Gus just playing it a little short right there, going straight to the next play. Could this be in? But oh, just loses that control of the ball. You really got to hate that as he booms it across the field.
Yeah, I was trying to walk the dog, but the dog, I think, got distracted by a squirrel just going the opposite way. And the ball here getting dislodged once again. Be KG. Large with the ball there, sending it over to Frank. Frank trying to drive that tank right down the midline. Couple defenders in the way and couldn't get it past them. Now a big scrum here at the top of that ceiling. Possession not in anyone's hands quite solidly yet as it goes near that bridge. Frank possession. Frank the pass. Beautiful read coming in from Araka. And then it will be right down the lane again for another turnover. A close game here. 1 minute 30 remaining.
Well, looks like he's just going to say nope, and he's just going to deny it to the other side as Large Gus does take possession of the ball. Going to duke them out, going straight up on the bridge. Going to just circle carve into there, but just loses that control as they're just tackling at the midfield point right now.
Yeah, a lot of tackles there, looking like a bunch of football players at the moment, or I guess rugby to be more region appropriate. And now there's a tank coming in with a bounce. Oh, almost a self-assisted goal. Could not complete it. Frank trying to dish it off to Large Gus. Large Gus from the ceilings, trying to muster any kind of energy they can because any goal here could be the game winner indeed with time winding down. It's going to be Harrison now with the ball and with some time to breathe. Not for all too long, carving to the sewers, carving up that ramp, and trying to carve themselves into a goal. We'll now try to back it out again, though, looking for some passing plays here.
Palador, we are almost at the end of the game. This could be another overtime, man. as we're just seeing these two teams just really just dominating on defense. Nobody can get a break here. Nobody can store these goals. And we might go into another overtime here. But Harrison does take possession of the ball, going straight up the goal. Could this be a third goal? It's just him and him chucking it in. I just lied. It is now 3-2, Palador.
Man, the aggressive drive will buy them potentially a win here. There's a little bit of time, not a lot, but a little. And Frank able to disrupt that dribble, sending it to that side wall. Time just about running down. They're going to drive into what looks like an open goal, and that's going to cap it off with a beautiful win here in round 3.
Gotta love it.
Drift ball resumes.
That was
Crusty
brilliant.
Gusters with at least 2 wins, maybe 3. Not sure.
Oh, and another goal.
All right, so again, we are not sure the results of that first round, so this game may be over. It might not be. We're going to give it about a minute to see for sure. But wow, what a close competitive match. Again, round 2 went to an overtime. Round 3 was at threat of an overtime until the last 20 seconds or so. So, I mean, that's what you love to see. Competition at its best here.
Gotta say, both of these teams were just brilliant. This was a really fun watch. Just the sheer defense force on both of the teams were just brilliant. From the Crusty Guster side and the Talos side, they just really were holding that battle right there, and they just were just both punishing each other. But the Crusty Gusters just did take that initiative in this game and just really stepped up their offensive play and just booming those straight into the goals, getting those goals left and right. But from both teams, bravo.
Yeah, well done. And this is to touch on what Punda was saying in our last match as well. Score not always indicative of the results. It looks like indeed it will be the victory here in 3 rounds from the Crusty Gusters. But again, it wasn't for a lack of competitiveness, because again, both the rounds we witnessed were so very close. But indeed, it will be Crusty with their great names taking it away. Looks like.
Crusty crew.
Crusty Crab.
Yeah, it's just brilliant. And their offensive play. It's just they really had that communication and chemistry from what I was seeing. But Palador, when you were seeing some stuff, there was just some great plays where they're just reading those passes, and that's what I kind of love. Is just when they know something is coming with a pass, and they're like, all right, I need to get to this point, and they just rush into there and they steal the ball at the last minute when their other teammate is just straight there for the pass. I just love seeing that when they just snatch the ball from the other team.
Yeah, that's one of the developments of competitive play I think you see here. It takes some figuring out sometimes. Of course, in the Pioneer Cup last month, 4v4 was still brand new. I mean, it kind of is brand new, right? It's still very experimental, but you can see the progression across the weeks, how these teams really learn that chemistry, learn the positioning as well. I mean, obviously it doesn't apply to 3v3 also, but just that extra player in 4v4 and the extra space in the arena, it really provides more passing lanes, more passing targets, clearing lanes, clearing targets, things like that. And so, when you expand the arena, you expand the player size, you're also expanding the importance of playing those lanes, learning how to position out. We're really seeing these teams get good at that. I can tell a difference as well, just from, again, week to week casting. You can really see the difference, even just an extra week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks of that practice makes. The teams are really catching up quickly into these metas.
Yeah, and also another thing is when I was playing earlier before the actual cup, there was I met so many these teams, and they're just practicing, and they're making up strategies and talking to each other, and then they're telling me some of these things. It was just incredible.
Yeah, and that's the best part about all this. Iron sharpens iron as well. So all these teams are learning, but as they get better, one team gets better, it makes everyone else better as well. Everyone trying to catch up to each other and sharpening their skills. So again, we're heating up, and that's why, again, Pioneer, that was the first effort, the first cup we had, just to kind of get started, get initialized there. Now we're in ignition. It's time to start lighting that fire now, and we're seeing that competitive fire leading all the way through the summer. We have, again, the qualifiers and VRML Con coming up, so it's only going to get more intense here on these matches. But that said, we will have still a pair of matches for you, 2 more matches for you here on stream. So we're going to take another break here on the cast. Again, thanks to YouTube for watching, all you viewers there watching, chatting, engaging, and cheering on your favorite teams. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with matches 4 and 5 somewhat momentarily. Stay tuned.
VR Master League and Another Axiom are proud to introduce the Phoenix Driftball Invitational, Orion Drift's first ever on-stage tournament at VRML Con 2025. For those attending the event, gather your team and enter for a chance to play on stage and compete for the $5,000 grand prize.
The format is simple. Phase 1 is an online open qualifier bracket where every team that enters will battle it out for a top seed. The top 16 teams from the qualifier will earn their spot on stage and move forward to compete at VRML Con on July 27th.
The competition truly begins with the Phoenix phase, a single elimination bracket played in person across 2 different stages throughout the day. It all culminates in the Driftball Grand Finals, the closing act of the event, where only one champion can be crowned.
Want to throw your hat in the ring? Use the VRML Discords to find a team of fellow attendees and sign up using the form in the server. Just remember, all players must have tickets and be attending the event to sign up. Online players will not be eligible for the Phoenix stage.
VRML Con 2025 is shaping up to be the event of a lifetime. Don't miss your chance for an unforgettable VR experience. Get your tickets and sign up for the Phoenix Invitational today.
Prepare to
Only
start.
Baron left alive. Where is Baron? In the spawn. And somebody
Go.
Spud in the bottom going absolutely crazy, getting the 2K.
Match phase.
VR Master League and Another Axiom are proud to introduce the Phoenix Drift Ball Invitational, Orion Drift's first ever on-stage tournament at VRML 2025. For those attending the event, gather your team and enter for a chance to play on stage and compete for the $5,000 grand prize.
The format is simple. Phase 1 is an online open qualifier bracket where every team that enters will battle it out for a top seed. The top 16 teams from the qualifier will earn their spot on stage and move forward to compete at VRMLCon on July 27th.
The competition truly begins with the Phoenix phase, a single elimination bracket played in person across 2 different stages throughout the day. It all culminates in the Drift Ball Grand Finals, the closing act of the event, where only one champion can be crowned.
Want to throw your hat in the ring? Use the VRML Discords to find a team of fellow attendees and sign up using the form in the server. Just remember, all players must have tickets and be attending the event to sign up. Online players will not be eligible for the Phoenix stage.
VRMLCon 2025 is shaping up to be the event of a lifetime. Don't miss your chance for an unforgettable VR experience. Get your tickets and sign up for the Phoenix Invitational today.
Prepare to
Only
start.
Baron left alive. Where is Baron?
Hello, welcome back, and we are going straight into the action here just cut the start of a game, and hey, I'm not complaining. So we got a match between two undefeated teams thus far in this tournament. Frame 1 versus Outlaws, so two high caliber teams going at it right now. Retro, here we go.
Gotta say, guys, Outlaws beware. These teams from the Pioneer Cup, both of these teams just did really incredible from what I saw. But let's see if one of these undefeated teams becomes defeated. As we have AR Joe passing it straight up to there and a slam straight into the goal early into the game. First points going to the Outlaws.
Yeah. Arc to Gaming Tim, beautiful job there. The two-man game, high to low. You love to see those kind of highlight plays. And here we go, right back into the midfield. The dribble, Shredder trying to tackle, disable, and does so with some success. So Shredder will tap off, send it right towards that mid lane, gets intercepted and collected now by Galaxy Ducky. Galaxy trying to self-pass it looked like, but Arc with a tackle. Gaming Tim back with possession and into the midfield.
Looks like Gaming Tim's just going to be chucking it down to their side. Looks like it's just going to be caught up by the other team, Flame 1. They're just going to be chucking it straight back down to the field. Looks like they are just brawling here as they're just trying to keep possession of the ball. But Shredder is just really punishing them and just keeps tackling them so they don't have a chance. But just with a boom straight into the goal. 1-1, Palador.
Oh, yeah, and a little bit of a sigh from the goalkeeper there, just seeing that ball slowly slide by. It barely worked its way in, but it did. As Shredder now, get some power under that one. That one was a more definitive of a statement. So exchanging goals, 2-1. Outlaws the lead with 3 minutes remaining here in this opener.
So Galaxy Ducky is trying to gain some speed there. Speed is the key of the game. Jumping straight up, going straight up the net. Oh, just getting tackled and stolen the ball. Shredder just really stealing these balls like they're a piece of candy here as they're trying to play at that midpoint. Our card does take possession, throwing it back down to his teammate.
Piece of candy. Piece of candy. Will be Arc here with a piece of pass there to Gaming Tim. Nice and peaceful at the top here. So there's that slowdown we're seeing from, you see it a lot more, I believe, with those really top-seeded teams here. They are very patient with it. They're willing to wait for passing plays to develop, and they're willing to make those extra passes, although they are getting it disrupted. Nice read. Gaming Tim, though, in the back line, able to carry it right to the front. Passing sideways to Shredder. Shredder loses the handles for a moment. Good defense from the tackles. The saves. Beautiful defense there, Retro.
Just all of them in goal right there, defending their goal right there. So they're going to be chucking it down, going to be chucking this. Could this be in? Oh, almost in, but just it hits the rim right there. You got to hate when it hits the rim. Nice little ceiling carve straight up onto the ceiling. Going to pass it straight over to his teammate with the W pass tree. So Arlo straight passing it back to Shredder. Shredder's just going to slam that into the goal. Just great passing plays.
That was spectacular, and you see how comfortable they look flying through the air, exchanging those passes back and forth and back again, making it look smooth as butter. So beautiful pass work there. Now we're seeing the same attempted from Chase, who's actually chased down and stopped with a tackle. Shredder from deep. Is that in? Is that in? Oh, so close, but not quite, as it takes a bounce off that top.
That's going to hurt until next Tuesday. Looks like they are going. Chase is going straight up on the Halo right now. Going to zoom it. Passing to his teammate right there. Going straight onto the next play. Going back to OCE. Just going back to Arlo right here as he takes possession of the ball. Chucking it back down the court.
You know, we're seeing really nice passing plays attempted there. But the shots are coming out from a bit long for frame 1, that is. They're making those passes, but they're taking, their last few shots have been taken from around that nest area or just under it, so a little far out, and it's making the goals easier to save, as we see another one from a little far and not enough mustard behind it. And I think that's credit, obviously, to the Outlaws defense as well. They're not really giving a lot of space for those cutting passes up front of the goal there.
Outlaws is really punishing them, the other team, on the defensive side, just not really giving them the chance to score any goals here. But time is of the essence as we are 3-1 right here, and it's 1-3 as we're in. It looks like they are going to be taking possession right onto here, going straight on it. The goal is pretty open. Gaming Tim does take possession and just going to chuck that into the goal.
And the clock will wind down. Just a second based off that, a 4-1 victory for Outlaws. Frame 1 able to capture a point, but just, again, the defense so intense. coming in from the Outlaws there. They weren't even allowed a lot of those up close, melee range type of shots, and it will provide Outlaws a nice, comfortable victory. Again, both these teams were undefeated going into this match in day one, Retro. So, it could go either way, but we'll see.
I think Outlaws that game just did beautifully. Hat tips to you, but like from what I was seeing from that game, looks like Shredda over here was just really pressuring the person with the ball, and just any chance they got, he just tackled just their teammates, and also just getting into that line of defensive play, really just blocking their passes and stuff. Flames did awesome that round, getting 1 point onto the board. Really need to step up their defensive play. That was a really wicked save, but we are about to go into round 2 here, and it's about to be awesome, Palador.
Well, that it is. So off we go, getting started quickly. Again, shout out to you folks on YouTube watching, in the chat, cheering it on. Glad to have you. Shredda would be glad to have a goal, but it's tapped out of there by Orca, as will be gaming Tim. Oh, just off that rim, the front edge of that goal. Still possession being maintained by Arc here. A few jukes, all the moves in the book, and you can book it for that first goal. What a move.
Really dribbling that ball there and slamming that into the goal. Impressive goal right there as they're taking possession onto the ball. Flame 1 is going to pass that up the Galaxy Duck. Galaxy Duck's going to pass it straight to his teammate, but just gets intercepted by Shredda as he's just going to be zooming straight back to the court, gaining that speed. Going to be jumping there. Is he going to pass? But the geometry there just bonked him. And that must just suck.
Bonk, go straight to jail. Right now, though, trying to close the deal here. Chase with the attack. It'll take a bounce off that top, though. Tapped by Rilo. Intercepted by Orc. And then here to the midline will be taken by Chase. Chase now trying to drive it past Arc, but being met with a tackle. A few more tackles right back as they return the favor. So a lot of aggression here results eventually in the ball being maintained by Arc, and then over to Rilo and gaming Tim. So now out at the approach, Outlaws here with some chances at offense again.
Looks like they are going for a W pass play, but just a wicked goal just from the top, from the midpoint right there, and a slam into the goal. Gotta love that. Let's see what Flames has in store for this round, Palador.
Well, 3.5 minutes left and 2 uncontested points thus far for the Outlaws. Not for a lack of trying, however, from frame 1, because we've seen them again have chance at the offense, but they're being closed off a lot by the defenses here in that midfield. Rilo working an upset floor. Oh, with a little show and go, and no one was there to defend it. That's 3-0 here, Retro.
Just really showing the crowd here what he's made of, and just slamming that into the goal. Nice job, Rilo, on that point. Looks like Shredda is taking possession with a nice little ceiling carve onto the ceiling, rushing straight in, trying to dribble to the ball, but just a tackle from Galaxy Duck as he chucks it across the court. But somebody at that midpoint line just catching the ball there. Yikes.
Yeah, it was Rilo there playing that midfield, attempting to deliver a pass that could not convert on the shot. Maybe a chance now. Galaxy Ducky loses the handles for a second, though, so gaming Tim will back it out with the ball. Has full control and all the space in the world, waiting for the passing plays to develop. You can really see dragging the defenses out deep into their side of the floor. Rilo now having it stolen, intercepted by Galaxy. Galaxy being taken by Arch on the tackle and the steal. Now Arch able to maintain possession, and look at the communication to find gaming Tim, but no, an interception, well read. And now maybe on the attack here for Chase. We got the run down, they've got the throw down, the goal goes down. It's finally a score after a few minutes of action.
I mean, they could take this back here, Palador. There is still time into the game. They really step up their offensive play. They could get 2 more points in this round here. But as we're seeing here, just from the Outlaw side, they're crushing on offensive side. As AR does take possession of the ball right here. Just going to take it down, passing it straight to the midpoint line as Arlo is going to be taking that straight on the bridge. Could this be a pass straight down to his teammate, and a boom straight into the goal? Great chemistry.
And you see that's a benefit of those cross passes. It works in any sport. You talk Echo Arena at work, but also in real life. You have those in basketball and soccer, football, whatever, what have you, right? You make the defense look one way, you pass across basically behind their backs, make them turn their heads, and before they can react, the ball is suddenly in the goal. As we see another one denied there by Arc. Beautiful job But that's the kind of stuff that brings these top teams success. You're just really making those goalkeepers, the defenses constantly move and adjust. And you're so quick with those attacks after the passes, there's not even time to adjust and save the ball.
I do agree on that point, Palador, as they are taking possession of the ball here. Hard does take that possession, but just fumbles as Galaxy Duck does take it, going straight on with a wicked ceiling carve. Could this be in? Drawing it back, but almost getting intercepted by there. Could this be in? But just the pure defense by the Outlaws, just denying it. They're just incredible, booming it across the field to the midpoint.
Yeah, some wild swings taken at that goal, and it was close a few times, but not close enough. Now the time winding down on this second round here as Shredder will overtake, trying to pick up some speed, but gets stopped off briefly, but not for too long. Shredder, however, could not make that fadeaway shot. Little too far to the left. Rilo the return, but nice from a chase attack on the save, slapping it out of the goal back into the midfield. The round is concluded, however, and it will be indeed the win, going to Outlaws twice in a row now.
Gotta say, Palador, if they really want to, if Flame One really wants to step it up this round, I really think they really need to brute force through Outlaws plays. From what I'm seeing from their perspective, if I know how they play, I would coordinate with my teammates saying he's gonna do this and he's doing this, so they know what they're doing, unless they are unpredictable. But Outlaws just crushing the defense and offensive side. But if Flame One does just crush it on the defensive side, but then have most of their teammates pressure on the offensive side, that could be great, and there could be a couple more goals. But with this overall theme in this game, it is still 1-4 for both rounds. So let's see something change here, Palador.
Yeah, some deja vu in those rounds, and Frame One, true to their name, that's what they've scored in both of those rounds. And again, not for lack of trying, but you know, again, it's just how do you get around such a tight defense where, you know, that's a big difference maker. You're seeing Outlaws, a lot of their scores are predicated off of these cutting passes when the shot ends up being taken very near to the goal, whereas most of Frame One shots have been taken several meters outside of the goal, you know, around that nest or the logo area. And it's just made it a lot tougher for them to get those good looks, and a lot easier for those Outlaws goalkeepers to save it and then take possession to the other end.
Yeah, you really want people on the other side of the goal so you can make that passes alignments, so that can just confuse the other team for not knowing like who's going to pass to who's going to pass to which, and it just gives them that advantage there from the Outlaw side, which we're looking for, because teamwork is the name of the game here. But it looks like they are going to be taking possession of the ball. Could this be another goal into there? But just a defensive play. Gamington does take that possession. He's just going to boom that straight to the midfield side, but just gets captured. But could this be a goal? Back and forth with this defensive side by Outlaws.
Yeah, Gaming Tim making up for it, and now on the other end, they'll make up some more points. So that's first score here of the round, Outlaws, after a minute and a half, after some great defense from Gaming Tim.
Looks like they are being taken possession of the ball, going straight up, gonna pass it to his teammate onto the left side of the court. They are gonna be re-grabbing. First time I saw a re-grab to a pass here. That was pretty cool. So they're gonna go straight on the table, going straight under, but just getting whacked. And that must hurt, as he's just going to throw that back to the midfield point, and it's just going to be a passing game here.
Yeah, Rilo from that bridge. Rilo going high-low, and hello, that's a goal.
Just they knew where they were, and they just know how to get those goals from that just passing play, because just that passing play is just the name of the game. Looks like they are going to be passing that straight onto there, but almost gets intercepted. Going to be passing that straight to the midpoint line, but it looks like they read that. Arlo read that as he's going straight down to the court, but there looks like they're brawling to tackle it, but he still wins over possession, chasing it to his teammate, but just whacking it to the other side, saying nope.
And Shredder there going to be first to the ball in many occasions, but it will be Tumble now with a nice steal. Tumble now climbing towards that sky, looking for a pass, but Rilo was already there to read it. So nice job, Tumbleweed, trying to make up for it and get that ball right back with a lot of disruption on Rilo, some tackles as well. Good defense being played on Rilo, keeping that pressure high as Tumble now goes right back to the sky once again, this time with a teammate in tow, but they unfortunately will lose that control, and Gaming Tim takes it right back over, sends it to Arc. Arc now creating some space, losing the ball for just a moment, Some nice handles being shown, however, to somehow come through the chaos with possession. More than one occasion now, Arc on the floor.
Arc does take out possession, throwing it on their side. Arlo's trying to get down, trying to get that ball possession as they're going under Sewer right now. But it's just going to get swooped by Arlo. But it's just going to, but just the defense by Galaxy Ducky right there. Just saying nope with that epic goal save. Wow.
And time is not on the side of frame one. 140 left. They're down 2. And should Outlaws take this round, they will take this series and remain undefeated so far in this day 1 of tournaments. Frame 1 currently at risk of losing their first. So let's see. Not a lot of time left, and they will lose the ball there, so that does not help the efforts. Outlaws back on offense.
Shredder does take possession of the ball, gaining that speed, but loses that possession, going straight up the OCE right now, going back to Galaxy Ducky as he takes possession of the ball. Is he going to pass? He's going straight, going to pass it to that midfield line, but just gets intercepted and boom, great to the other side. But it's not going to be a goal, but the geometry just not working the favor here. Just hitting off that nest point.
Some awkward bounces there indeed, disrupting the opportunity at a goal, although Rilo now with control tries to send one over to Shredder. Shredder cutting in. Nice cut off, however, from Orc and Co. As Gaming Tim chases it down. It's first to the ball with a half second to spare. Galaxy Ducky is there, though, to interrupt. Galaxy Ducky now, great defense, tapping it high, trying to find a pass, and good positioning there to his teammates. But they will lose the ball to Gaming Tim, who takes a big volleyball heave and almost into the goal. Bit wide, Chase now with the ball.
Chase does take possession of the ball. We are in the end game now. Could he at least rack up 2 points? It could be possible. But Gaming Tim does take possession of the ball and just walks it right into there. Just open and just walks it just straight in Palador.
And waving goodbye there, acknowledging the fact that that's it. That is the end of a round and the end of the match here soon. As it will be a victory handily to the Outlaws.
Really gotta say, Outlaws beware. That was just a perfect game there. From Outlaws' side, from what we were seeing there, they just had that chemistry with that passing. Like they knew where to go, and they knew the reads. Like they knew where to go when they were reading, and they just blocked that intercepted passage, which I personally loved when the teams were trying to get into that possession on their side, but just knew where they were going and just blocked it at the last moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Really a full team effort there, both offensively, defensively. Not a lot of gaps in the game of Outlaws. They're just able to clamp down when they needed to, and able to transition it. That's the thing, too. Having good defense is one thing, but being able to actually turn defense into offense smoothly. They made that transition beautifully on multiple occasions where you had nice save at the goal from an Outlaws player or a good steal, and it turned within seconds. It turned into some efficient offense on the other side. So yeah, really nicely done by them. Frame 1, they kept up a lot of the way. Like possession time itself, just by my estimations, I think possession time was more or less equal. Like there wasn't a huge disparity there. The frame 1 players, they had plenty of opportunities, plenty of ball control, and they played some sturdy defense as well, especially in some of those reads and in the midfield. They weren't allowing anything easy in that regard. But again, it's just tough to overcome that barrage endlessly by the Outlaws.
I say from the Flame 1 side, they did really step up on their defensive play there from one of their from the saves and all that, just really giving Outlaws just not the mercy win, but they still put up a good fight. And that's what you gotta love, is when you're even losing the game, but you're still putting up a really good fight, even though you might not win or lose. It's just great, because some of these teams in competitive play, sometimes when they're like getting into the loss of the game, sometimes they lack motivation, but this team did not lack that motivation, and they played hard way until the end, Palador, and that's what you gotta love.
For sure. And one other thing that I love also, again, is everyone tuning in there in the chat. As I have said about OCE for years now, proportionally speaking, you guys show up. Our in terms of team count, lower compared to our other regions, and yet the passion is, I would say, higher. You guys show up, you watch, you interact, you engage. Always good to see you guys. So thank you for stopping by. Again, Jucifer's in there, Micah, Skit, Electro, as well as MW7 VR. Welcome back. Thanks for the compliments also, Andre. Appreciate that. I'm glad you guys are enjoying the cast and enjoying the matches tonight.
Yeah, thanks for everybody, who's watching the stream so far. It's been really fun, casting these games and seeing how these players play. It's just going to be really fun as we're gonna see in round 5 from the Swiss Cup. It's just gonna be great.
And just to answer as well, Micah's question a little earlier on. So yeah, this is our second cup actually. We had, of course, the Pioneer Cup last month for a $1,000 prize pool spread amongst our regions, and it's the same here for this Ignition Cup. Also $1,000 on the line, as well as, again, bragging rights for being among the first champions in these VRML Cups. You have player tags that will be delivered as well for participating in the tournament. We have, again, the online qualifiers later in the month, June 27th through 29th, that is to say, so next month, I suppose. But yeah, so that's coming up, and that'll be $5,000 cash prize pool at VRML Con in July 25th through 27th. So we got a lot of prizes at stake, a lot of cups on the way. So, fill up yours and take a drink because we have some more action coming up soon. So we will take a break unless you have anything else there, Retro, or we'll get set up for our next match.
Nope. Let's see these last teams play.
All right, guys. So stay tuned. We'll be back real soon.
VR Master League and Another Axiom are proud to introduce the Phoenix Driftball Invitational, Orion Drift's first ever on-stage tournament at VRMLCon 2025. For those attending the event, gather your team and enter for a chance to play on stage and compete for the $5,000 grand prize.
The format is simple. Phase 1 is an online open qualifier bracket where every team that enters will battle it out for a top seed. The top 16 teams from the qualifier will earn their spot on stage and move forward to compete at VRMLCon on July 27th.
The competition truly begins with the Phoenix phase, a single elimination bracket played in person across 2 different stages throughout the day. It all culminates in the Driftball Grand Finals, the closing act of the event, where only one champion can be crowned.
Want to throw your hat in the ring? Use the VRML Discords to find a team of fellow attendees and sign up using the form in the server. Just remember, all players must have tickets and be attending the event to sign up. Online players will not be eligible for the Phoenix stage.
VRMLCon 2025 is shaping up to be the event of a lifetime. Don't miss your chance for an unforgettable VR experience. Get your tickets and sign up for the Phoenix Invitational today.
Prepare to
Only
start.
Baron left alive. Where is Baron? In the spawn. Can somebody
Go.
Spud in the bottom going absolutely crazy, getting the 2K.
Match phase.
VR Master League and Another Axiom are proud to introduce the Phoenix Drift Ball Invitational, Orion Drift's first ever on-stage tournament at VRMLCon 2025. For those attending the event, gather your team and enter for a chance to play on stage and compete for the $5,000 grand prize.
The format is simple. Phase 1 is an online open qualifier bracket where every team that enters will battle it out for a top seed. The top 16 teams from the qualifier will earn their spot on stage and move forward to compete at VRMLCon on July 27th.
The competition truly begins with the Phoenix phase, a single elimination bracket played in person across 2 different stages throughout the day. It all culminates in the Drift Ball Grand Finals, the closing act of the event, where only one champion can be crowned.
Want to throw your hat in the ring? Use the VRML Discords to find a team of fellow attendees and sign up using the form in the server. Just remember, all players must have tickets and be attending the event to sign up. Online players will not be eligible for the Phoenix stage.
VRMLCon 2025 is shaping up to be the event of a lifetime. Don't miss your chance for an unforgettable VR experience. Get your tickets and sign up for the Phoenix Invitational today.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to VRML, and welcome back for just a short time. So, after running through the brackets there and looking at the scores and such, it's been determined actually the 5th round will not be necessary, as it turns out. So, sorry to be yet again the bearer of bad news. We have no more games for you, at least right now. But that is until later on, of course, because we do have EU and NA with their day 1 Ignition Cups later on. In fact, we have, let's see, 11 to 9, 6 hours. 6 hours from now, looks like. We have the EU Cup starting, and it'll be here on this channel, and may even have a couple channels running, depending, as well as NA another 6 hours or so after that. So we got more coming. Sorry to kind of abruptly cut this one out, but after discussing with the players and the mods, it looks like we are actually solid on our results for day 1, and we know who's moving up into the next for day 2. So we will be back here again same time tomorrow, however. And yeah, but otherwise, Retro, it's been a pleasure casting. There were fun matches, and even at least got our overtime in there at the end.
Yeah, it was fun. Thanks for everybody who watched the stream and all that. Make sure to get your tickets at VRMLCon and attend to it. It's awesome. Great event. And it's been real, Palador. And good job to every single team we casted today. GG's.
Yeah, absolutely. GG's indeed. And just, again, stay tuned for later. Appreciate everyone who stopped by and watched. Much love to you guys. I've been Palador, along with Retro and Wonder T in the cams. Shout out, of course, Punda earlier on for the couple of casts at the beginning. And yeah, so until next time, be happy, be healthy, be safe, and be good to each other. We'll see you again real soon.
Orion Drift VRML is brought to you by Another Axiom, Helga, the esports manager. Thanks for watching VRML.